Good evening. Today we are going to have the discussion on organizational design. And whenever we are talking about organizational design, the first thing that we have to consider is the organizational structure. So as usually, we have a presentation to share with you. Here we are with our presentation. Organizational structure. There are many organizational structures for the organization, out of which the most common one is the hierarchical organizational structure. This is also known as the vertical organizational structure as well as the pyramidal organizational structure. You can see the structure is actually designed according to the hierarchy, from the lower hierarchy to the higher hierarchies, and definitely as the number of positions are more in case of the lower hierarchies, so it takes a broad-based structure, and it is being headed by the CEO or maybe the MD or the chairman. So that's why it is having an apical uh, uh, gathering. So it looks like a pyramid. So that's why it is also known as a pyramidal structure. As it is distributed along the hierarchies from top to bottom, it is hierarchical structure. And as the distribution is vertical, that's why it is also known as a vertical organizational structure. So nothing to be confused about whenever you are actually hearing about vertical structure. It is actually we're hearing about the hierarchical structure or a pyramidal organizational structure. Now there are different organizational structures, as I have just now mentioned. There are certain instances where we can see that inverted pyramid, but this is not obviously. This is a actual conventional pyramidal structure. So this is to clear first. Now you can see that this particular hierarchical structure starts with the, the head of the organization, CEO in this case, as we have the this particular example in our front, the structure in our front. Now CEO, under CEO we can see over here two managers, production manager and the marketing manager. And again, under the supervision of production manager, we have fabrication foreman and assembly foreman, and each of the foreman is actually having the workers. Multiple workers are there, number of workers are there, that's not actually mentioned here. Similarly, for the marketing manager, sales officer is there, A and sales officer B. It should be A and B, or it's written B in both the cases, A and B. And under the supervision of the sales officer, we have salesperson. So this way the structure is distributed. This is a very simple pyramidal structure that you can see on screen, but in many cases, especially for the large organizations, the organizational structures will be definitely more lengthy, upright, and definitely more complex. Next one, matrix organizational structures. So there are many organizational structures. We have horizontal structures, we have inverted pyramids, but we have focused on the most significant organizational structures. So the second significant organizational structure that we'll talk about is the matrix organizational structure. You all know what is a matrix, a structure consisting of the rows of the columns. Now similarly, in this organizational structure, you can see it is unlike the pyramidal structure, but it is the entire responsibilities are distributed across a matrix. Now you can see that the top management, then below that level we have manufacturing manager, sales manager, finance manager, and human resource manager. Whereas you can see the manager project A. If I go according to the rows, we can see that manager project A, manager project B, manager project C. Now what is the importance of the matrix organization, or rather when it is used? Actually matrix organization is used in case of the projects. An organization which is a project organization which works in different projects. For example, in case of the IT sector, you can talk about many are there. Let's take the example of IBM. In case of the manufacturing sector, especially in the construction sector, you can talk about L&T. There are definitely many are there. Now, when you do not have a project, so that time you are functioning normal, like the manufacturing manager, sales manager, finance manager, human resource manager. Now, the moment you are getting the project, so definitely you need to play the dual role. You are taking care of your organizational affairs on the particular function. Parallelly, you are taking care of the different project aspects as well. For example, this say take one instances. Let's take one instance like a manufacturing manager or say human resource manager. Human resource manager, he is the human resource manager of the company. He is functioning like the centralized human resource manager, but parallelly, he is functioning as a human resource manager for project A, B, and C as well. So in these three cases, actually, he is performing the dual functions. One is performing the management for the organization as well as for the projects. There may be other employees who are not involved in the project A, B, and C. So for them, he is functioning as the human resource manager. But for specifically project A, B, and C, he is functioning as the this human resource manager for those projects. Especially in these three cases, the labor dimensions, the employee dimensions will be different. There will be different types of contractual labors based on the diversity of the contractors, diversity of the locations. So that person, that HR manager needs to take care of all these things. Right? So the simple thing that you have to remember in case of the matrix organization structure is that whenever a person, an employee, is playing a dual role, the structure of the organization will take a matrix shape. Functional organization structure, this structure is actually distributed according to the functions, different functions in the organization. You can see that on top we have the president of the organization, but below that we have the R&D manager. R&D, research and development, is a function. Finance is a function, marketing is a function, and manufacturing is a function. Or production, it can be, whatever it be, it is a function. So actually this distribution is according to the functions. R&D manager will have under him the design executives, development executives, and testing executives. Finance manager, accounting executives and processing executives. Marketing manager, sales executive and customer service executives. And for manufacturing manager, line supervisors, production team, and the other distribution of the workers. So this is basically the structure, and we can see that the distribution is being made according to the functions. This is somehow different. Product organization structure. Here, it is based on the product, not the function. For example, there is a board of directors as per this particular diagram. Soap is a product. Hair product, fit products, which are used for maintenance of the fit, then makeup products, and fragrance products. Suppose this is an organization structure of a cosmetic making organization. So in that case, these are the different types of cosmetics available. So based on the product, all these are the various products of the particular organization. So based on that products, the organization structure has been designed. Same can be done if we are actually structuring the organization on the basis of the brands. Okay. So for example, say Hindustan Unilever, there are multiple brands present. For Godrej, multiple brands present. ITC, multiple brands present. So for each and every brand, there can be one manager, and definitely he will have his subordinates under him. So this can be another structure. This is another one, geographic organizational structure. There can be the president of an organization if the company is having multinational presence. So you can see Vice President United States, Vice President Spain, Vice President France, and Vice President Italy. So in 4 different locations, they are the country heads, they are the vice presidents, and definitely under their supervision, there are multiple staffs. The other administrative and managerial distributions are possible. It's completely coincidental that we can see that all these nations are actually very badly affected by COVID-19, but that's a different issue altogether. But somehow this is possible that this kind of geographical organizational structures are designed especially for the multinational corporations. So these are the most significant and most prominent organizational structures for you to understand. We shall continue with this particular topic of organizational design. We will talk about the different organizational climate, culture, and other aspects of the organizational design. Till that point of time, thank you very much. Stay indoor and stay